Good afternoon. I'm Chase Van Dalen. As I'm sure everyone has heard, climate change and global warming, but everyone has also heard of renewable energy. Most people are familiar with different green practices such as recycling and renewable energy sources such as solar and wind power. But today I'm here to tell you about new technological developments that are being designed to combat climate change. Several new technological advancements that are revolutionizing our industries are being created to reduce our impact on the environment. And with these new innovations, our impact on the earth and overall our environment can be greatly reduced, minimizing our effect on climate change. But today I'll report to you some of these new inventions and how they can fight climate change. To begin with, the first technology I want to talk about is green concrete. As you can see here, here's a picture of green concrete. So surprisingly, concrete makes up a total of 8% of the total global CO2 emissions. But according to a Rolling Stone article, tech company Solidia has developed green concrete. But what makes this concrete different than regular concrete, you may ask? Well, regular concrete is created in a chemical reaction that requires heating up to 2,700 degrees Celsius. Well, and this process releases tons of CO2. But this concrete can be created in temperatures much lower, and it reduces emissions by a third of the initial emission. But also, the green concrete is cured using CO2, which permanently traps it within the stone, and it ups the carbon reduction of emissions down to a grand total of 70% of the original concrete process. The next thing I want to talk about today is offshore wind turbines. Offshore wind turbines are going to be the future of wind energy. I'm going to tell you why. As you can see here, it's a really interesting concept. But as many people are aware who have ever researched renewable energy sources, traditional onshore wind turbines have very many different limitations. The biggest of those being space, and the fact that the turbines have to be tailored to suit whatever environment that they're being produced in. But with offshore wind turbines, it makes it a lot easier and a streamlined process because the turbines don't have to be tailored to suit any environment, because the ocean is pretty much the same anywhere else. The space requirement is also not there. There's plenty of room in the ocean. So in a couple of years, it'll be really cheap and streamlined to mass produce and assemble these offshore wind turbines, and we may see thousands of them across the ocean in the next few years. And while they're still in development, the Yale School of Environment article that I found this information from thinks that it'll be the future of the wind energy. And the final thing I want to talk about is from a BBC article. This boat right here, Hydroville, is the 16-passenger shuttle boat that travels between Quebec and Antwerp. And it is the highlight of this article. What's so special about this boat here, Hydroville, that you may ask? Well, Hydroville is actually the first ship that runs completely off a hydrogen-based fuel. Currently, the shipping industry produces a grand total of 3% of all the global CO2 emissions, and experts believe that by reducing emissions from ships is a key part of stopping climate change. But using hydrogen as a fuel is really important because it expels no greenhouse gases and essentially creates a completely green fuel that has the potential to be produced using renewable energy. So ultimately, using hydrogen reduces emissions greatly, and unlike other different types of fuels, such as biofuel, can be produced using renewable energies in theory. But it's still in development, it hasn't been achieved yet, but once it is achieved, it'll greatly improve our global CO2 emissions if industries like the shipping industry can make the big transfer over to it. But, in conclusion, while climate change remains a prominent issue, big steps are being taken in the science world to prevent it, and many technologies that are being developed may just change the way of our lives for the better. For example, green concrete cured using CO2, or wind turbines that can independently float in the ocean, and boats that are powered purely on clean burning hydrogen fuel. Therefore, together, I believe that we can battle climate control. Oh, almost forgot. Here's my word side.